Hello and welcome to your Friday night podcast here on Four Lads Had a Dream. My name's Andrew and it's a pleasure to be joined tonight by two of my very favourite podcasters, Calvin and Stevie. Lads, it's nice to be talking to you guys about Rangers. It's nice to be back in the host chair as well, but Rangers aren't exactly doing a lot to lift our moods recently at the moment either. So we're going to talk about St Mirren. We're going to preview the game. But we're aware that the moods amongst the support is not particularly cheery. But we're going to do our best to talk through it and, hopefully keep you guys entertained for 45 minutes so Stevie can get off and watch the football at 8 o'clock. Calvin, I'm going to start with you, mate, because I know Stevie's obviously gone over the midweek game. But I just want to quickly get your thoughts on what that match was, like your views on it, and where do you think that leaves us?
The start of the game was embarrassing. Let's be honest about it. If you want a Rangers fan, you look at it as being comical because just communication errors, simple stuff like the start of that game. I was sitting in my seat watching the ball just go through, and you're going like 3 men there can deal with that. And 0 dealt with it. You can point the finger at each other, but all it took is one man just to step up and go, I'll get the ball. Butler could have came, DJ could have stayed on it, Shooter could have covered across. It wasn't a hard thing to do. I think that's the most embarrassing thing about it. It was something really simple. They could have got it out. Second goal, set piece, that's one of the errors that we've been dealing with for the best part of 2 or 3 seasons now. We struggle to defend, we struggle to score for them. And then the third goal, it's a great finish. There's nothing you can do about it. They probably could have had another one if it wasn't for Butland's save. The team did grow back into it. They got their goal. You had the disallowed goal. You had the penalty shout. But ultimately, we could have been about 5 down at that stage. So for me, that first half was everything that said about the way Russell Martin's team sets up. You can get at them. And if they don't start strong, they go into their hiding cells. It's been something that we've seen. The mentality of that team is when they face adversity, they tend to struggle. When they get put on the back foot, they don't like it. Normally in Europe, we get to see the better chance for the players, but they just didn't do it until the second half. And by then, it was already gone. Like, the fans were done. The second half, we got a bit of recovery, a bit more behind them, but I don't know. I was just totally deflated. Look, I was unfortunate to still be there at 90 minutes, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, you did better than a good chunk of the support. So that's a result, I suppose. I mean, I was because I've not spoken about this. Stevie has spoken about this on about 15 platforms and 20 different podcasts so far. But I mean, just in terms of like my own thoughts on it, there was nothing in there that I was massively surprised by beyond just how open we were, because we've seen that type of performance in the other games that we've had. Pretty toothless in attack, really exposed in defence. Stevie, it's doesn't exactly bode well. And like Calvin says, I thought we'd lift our game for Europe and for the bigger games, and I was more concerned about this weekend's game coming up. So the fact that we did that well in the game where I thought we'd play well doesn't fill me with a great deal of confidence for this weekend, unfortunately.
Listen, it was never ever going to be easy. I don't think any of us expected it would be plain sailing. I don't think any of us thought it would be magically wonderful from word go, but I think we definitely all thought it would be a wee bit better than this. So we need to get better quickly. There's no excuses for it. What troubled me most about the other night was not the mistake, because look, a mistake can happen. It's how you recover from it and how you can react. And we just do what we always do, which is go into mute immediately. And we all shrink into our shell. And John Souttar as captain, I wanted a lot more of him. It didn't come. Jack Butland, these guys. And right through, Andrew, and this is the thing, right? See, when you look at the spine of our team right through the middle, Souttar, Raskin, Danilo, Butland, these guys, right? Nobody performed in it. Now, Danny scored the goal because Danny is a 9 and he will finish, but he's not got the other bits of his game. I think that the injury actually is taking him a while to get back up to speed, Danilo, and I think he needs a good runner. I think Danilo's a cracking striker. I'm not sure he's a forward necessarily, and I'm not sure he can play that role as such. I'm not sure any of our guys can, because even Hamza likes to come, deeper and not be in the box as such, and we don't have enough in the box. But it was the response I was most disappointed in. What I'm looking for on Sunday is a lot better, and it has to be a lot better. But look, there's 10 days, I think, left, 9-10 days of the window left. We've just taken 6.5 million in for Jeffy. We've just taken the best part of 2.5 million in for Ridvan when it's confirmed in the next couple of hours or tomorrow or whenever it's going to be confirmed, right? That's 9 million, 10 million pound that we haven't been able to budget for. I want that spent. Don't bother giving me 4 £2 million players. Go and get one really, really good difference maker. Spend it with the guy that's going to fix the defence. Spend it on a 9 that's going to make the difference. This is what I want to see. I want to show, and I think, by the way, I think the board have backed Russell Martin so far. I think they've showed ambition, but I think we've done business so far that's been sensible. If there's room to do it, Andrew, go and spend that money, because we need a centre back. We need a leader. We need somebody that's going to organise and do that. And that's not cheap, I get it. But we've been shopping in areas where we've been spending £3-4 million. What if we could spend £6-7 million on one that's really, really good on that money we've just got in? So that's just a thought of mine. But look, Sunday, when it comes, St Mirren, Andrew, we know all about St Mirren, right? So first of all, Calvin, you know fine well, something that you kind of touched on a wee bit. Ayunga and Mandron up front. So they're quick, they're strong, they can bully defenders. They're going to play that ball. So they're going to sit and play that ball as long as they can all the time up to them. Then you've got Mark O'Hara from midfield, Killian Phillips that kind of like to bomb on, and Gogic at the back, who will just bully anyone that goes near them. And St Mirren are really well organised. Normally 5 at the back, 3-2, like kind of 5-3-2, bombing forward fullbacks, Declan John, and then it'll be Richardson on the other side. I've actually seen St Mirren this year against Hearts. I watched that game back, and they were very well organised against a Hearts team that I think they underestimated St Mirren. But come Sunday, there's no excuses for Rangers. I don't want to be in the position where Russell Martin says we were surprised by Dundee. St Mirren will sit in, be organised, and they will look to play it long, early for Mandron and Ayunga. We need to be on that and clear of it. Now, the games last season were the exact same. If you remember that, the first game, the victory at Ibrox, a 2-1 game, they done the exact same, and then subsequently ended up beating us in Paisley, and then got another result at Ibrox as well. So we need to be on it and be well aware. But Calvin, you know what you're getting, don't you? From St Mirren on Sunday. So if we are sitting here saying it, we cannot afford to be in a position where Russell Martin comes out and says we are surprised by that.
100%, because it doesn't matter who St Mirren play. They could play bottom of the league or top of the league. Everything about Stephen Robinson's really the exact same. He's been the same at whatever club he's went. He gets pacey guys in the wide areas, he delivers balls into the box, and he gets runners from midfield. That's what his tactics have been for the past 10 years since he was at Motherwell. So if anybody comes out and says they're surprised, they're lying to you, because they've probably not watched the analysts then, because all you worry about is 2 physical strikers that get in on top of your defenders. They'll have midfielders for the edge of the box that will be runners in. O'Hara's quite a good goal scorer for midfield. But they'll also hit shots for the edge of the box, which will test. We've seen the one where Butland last year made a big save, and then the one that went through as well. There's no surprises in this St Mirren team, and the recruitment that he does is always the same type of players. So they can't be surprised by what St Mirren are going to do. They're going to get the ball wide, they're going to deliver, they're going to get big men around your defence and your goalkeeper. That's Scottish football. It's what you're going to face pretty much every single week. And if the players that have come in don't understand that already, they're going to be in for a shock for the rest of the season, because that's all they're going to face. So your lights here, suitors and that, they should be ready just to stand up and head the ball away, because that's all they're going to have to do. Better just play. I like Fernandes for a game like this. 6'7", powerhouse. He'll win most of these headers. Maybe that's an option after probably a deflated team. But I have a feeling you'll probably see Martin will go with. He wants to get the guys to play out their slump. But how many times can you sit and wait for that?
Yeah, I think Fernandes will probably play though, Calvin, because of Gigas.
Yeah, so
sorry, Andrew, for jumping in there. I need to forget I'm not hosting tonight. I keep forgetting. Can I just say though, amazing thanks to Big Rod, who's donated £50 to the channel. Rod, I really hope that you didn't mean to press a fiver. If you did, contact us and I'll sort it out for you, buddy. But like, if you did mean 50, that's above and beyond, Andrew. I just thought I would say that. Thank you so much for the support of the channel.
Yeah. No, I was going to mention that. I couldn't possibly let that go without comment. I think Rod might have just picked it because he would like the colour of the sticker, which I'm totally on board with. If it encourages people to do it more, then rock on. Very happy with that. So, Rod, appreciate that immensely, mate. Thank you very much. What I was going to say is, in terms of what you're talking about, Calvin, it's St Mirren, but this is also just the Scottish football in general, as you say. And what we've seen so far in terms of how we can compete with Scottish football, how this team this season, Motherwell, was dire. Like we've seen that this team has not got the ability so far, or hasn't demonstrated the ability to compete with Scottish football as things go. Stevie was very kind to pull together the agenda for us today, and just talked about what we're going to talk about, and the main point was, can we just win, please? Except he used a bit more invective for it, and that's right. Like we've talked about, it'd be great to see a good performance, and you're going to see this, new system from Russell Martin. The best thing that Russell Martin and this squad of players can do right now is get a result. Like it'd be great if it was, a really comfortable, comprehensive performance with all this free-flowing, magnificent attacking football that we've been promised and haven't seen. But really, it just comes down to you need to get results, and you need to do it fast. That was, I think, generally just pointed at everyone, but Calvin, I don't know if you want to talk for a bit. Like,
I'll go for it. It's pretty much like they need to get 3 points on the board. Like it can't sit anymore. We can't lose any more ground. This needs to get sorted quick. And for the sake of the team, like, see if they get 3 points on the board, that can change things. The longer they go without getting a win, the more pressure builds, the more teams fancy themselves up against them, especially going into Old Firm next week. Like, they need this 3 points on the board more than ever right now, because if they go in with another draw, another defeat, they could be miles behind. It needs to get this 3 points on the board just so they can sort out that mentality issue, take that weight off their shoulders a wee bit. And sometimes that can help a team kick on. Getting that weight off the shoulders can be massive for them. So 3 points a must. Doesn't matter how they get it. It can be a scrappy 1-0 goal off somebody's arse. I don't care. As long as they get the 3 points.
I'd take that as well, Calvin, to be honest. But I genuinely think, see, at some point, Andrew, we really need to start putting in a performance as well. People need a wee bit of hope from something. Things can change really quickly, and I'll grasp at straws for a second, but there's so much negativity at the moment, and I get that, and I completely understand that. But I would hope that if we can get a result on Sunday, Bruges we can put to the side. It leads us into the Celtic game needing to win that. If you can win that and maybe get a body or two in, and all plans are, they want another 2 or 3 in before the end of the window. Martin talked about bodies will be coming in, so that is needed. If you can get that, maybe the momentum and the mood starts to swing a wee bit. But it's not going to swing if you get like a victory that has got more questions. Now, what I mean by that is that they didn't really get any, like beating Panathinaikos as early as we did was an excellent result, but we didn't really get any credit for it because of the way the away game happened, when everybody came away from it thinking, Jesus, that was far too close, hands over the face kind of stuff. And then the same in Pilsen, because we humped them in the first game really well. And then the second leg was like, well, we could have really got beat 6-1 there and had no complaints. So there's no credit in the bank there or praise for that. And it defaults to we've only played well in spells because of those. We need to go to St Mirren, Andrew, on Sunday, and somehow things need to come together after a couple of days training and look 100% better than what it has and what it certainly did look in the first half on Tuesday night. And Calvin's right, I'd take a 1-0 right now, but I'd also want a wee bit more. It needs to have a wee bit more so that people can have something to grasp onto. And at the moment, there's far, far too much negativity. And I get it because it's granted and it's warranted. But we need to believe in something. We have to see something. We have to see a performance. And we have to see things that we can believe in so that we can at least start going into games with a wee bit of hope after the international break, thinking, well, it didn't start great, but we've ended strongly with a couple of good results and go from there. And plus, as Calvin says, we cannot afford to not have any points in the bank after this Celtic game. So Sunday's a must. And then after that, we can go into Celtic maybe with a wee bit of confidence if a player or two comes in. But that's asking a lot at this moment. It doesn't look like it. It is grasping. I absolutely get it. But football can change really quickly. And that's what I'm hanging on to. Because if they don't, Andrew, the pressure on him is going to be incessant. And we all know that. It already is. If the next week or 10 days goes badly, then you're already looking at who's next and stuff like that, because the pressure on him will be incessant. And I don't think that there's any denying that. And it would be wrong to sit here and try and paint it in other ways. So go and get the result, please, on Sunday. And then we can just take a breath, see where we are, and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it plenty pre-season as well. And when, even when we were talking about whoever the manager was going to be, it was going to be, we need to see something, because we knew it was going to be a rebuild. And I think we all appreciated how difficult European qualification was going to be and how difficult it was going to be to get through. But we need to see something. We need to see, the seeds of this starting to grow. It was the same as we talked about with Gerrard. We can see something growing, and that's why he got the amount of time that he got. Plus, he was Steven Gerrard. So, folks were naturally inclined to give him a little bit more respect. I want to touch on the question that Detective Munch has asked, paying £5 to do that as well. You don't need to do that, man, but appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to come to you first, Calvin, but do you believe that Martin will be axed if we don't take 6 points from St Mirren and Celtic in the next two matches? I'm going to save my opinion for the end, but Calvin, I want to get your thoughts first.
It'd be a hard place to come back for. That's probably the best way to look at it. Do I think you'll get time? Probably. Do I think this board are going to be ruthless if things aren't going to work? Most likely, because they're investing money and they want to get to the Champions League quick. They want to win league titles quick. I don't think he'll get as much time as a lot of people maybe think he will. There's things you can't come back from. And if they aren't seeing development in the team, they aren't seeing players improving, they aren't seeing results, they're seeing fans turning their back, all these things will add up. And I think after he doesn't pick up the points from day 2 games, it's going to be a hell of a battle. He was already on the back foot with a lot of fans. It was, a lot of fans didn't want him here. They didn't think it was the right fit. We took the sound bites, we bought into it a bit, but very quickly it's turning. We've seen it on Tuesday night. The boos were loud and clear. And I think if the board are watching, they won't want to lose their product. It's all about the product for them, really. They want their product to thrive. They want to get the money in. They want to use their marketing. They want to get competition money. So it'd be interesting. I don't think he would get sacked, but I don't think he'd be as far away from a lot of people think.
Stevie?
No. So here's the truth that people won't like, but there's caveats to it. Our favourite word. If we get beat by St Mirren and Celtic, he's not going anywhere, because whether we like it or not, he has support from inside Ibrox, and they are willing to give him time because they believe that we are stuck in a cycle. And people need to think a wee bit outside the box, because it's not just what's going on the pitch, it's going on in the dressing room, players in there that he needs to swap out and change, because this cycle has continued now from Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, Michael Beale, Philippe Clement, and now this. The same things keep happening, the same players, the same culture that's at the football club, so it needs changed. However, the caveat to this is, Andrew, and we're all very wise to know this, if we get an absolute slump on Sunday, followed up by a doing of them, the pressure will be intense. Ibrox attendances will drop. They already dropped the other night because people aren't buying into it and believing it. The pressure will be humongous on Russell Martin himself and on the board to do something. So I'm not sure that he comes back from that, like Calvin says. So in the eyes of the support, definitely not. The support from inside the stadium and inside the boardroom will be the same, but that will take its toll also. So it all depends on how we do But I would warn against something as well, right? And this is only my opinion on it. There's certain players in that dressing room who have outlasted every manager, and this mindset of their players being, we need to, or we will outlast this manager and we'll just move on to the next one, needs to stop. Russell Martin may very well be the right guy to do certain things and the wrong guy for other things. If Russell Martin's strong enough to clear that dressing room out, then you might need to stick through a lot of it to get where we want to be. The issue is straight away that the leadership group and the captaincy and all that is questionable from the start. So we just need to wait and see how that pans out. But this is, honestly, my answer to the question is no. But the caveat to that is, Andrew, see if it's really bad, they might have no choice, because the way that the fans have already reacted to it and what will follow from it, I think might be unavoidable, mate.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of broadly in your boat, Stevie, but I think I'm more inclined to say that these guys will be ruthless if they have to be. And I think it absolutely comes down to the manner of those performances. See if we get a result against St Mirren. For whatever reason, we don't get a result against them. That happens, unfortunately, more often than we'd like in recent years. But as you say, if it's a spineless performance, and if we fail to impose ourselves in the game, and there's no sign of any system in place, and we're, factoring in a Bruges game here as well, which could determine where we're playing our football, this board's going to want to be selling European packages, whether it's Champions League or Europa League. Trying to do that with the mood music being as bad as it is, like, there are tickets up for sale for the Old Firm game. If you're a MyJazz member, there are tickets available for the Bruges game the other night. So this is already starting to affect the mood of the support. If it starts getting more toxic, then I think the board would be inclined to act a bit more ruthlessly. Like, you can buy into the idea of a project well enough, but I think if it doesn't look like it's going to pay off, then I think they'll act. There's good bones to this squad, and part of this is why you have a director of football, in that, you get players in who suit a system for you. And while the manager might not be the right person, the personnel there are still the personnel that this football club wants. Manager aside, first team coach aside, sorry. So it's going to come down to the manner of these performances. I don't think just a straight defeat and a straight lack of getting the 6 points is enough, but I think it's the manner of the performances that we see. And it's not all about performances. Results are more important for me, always. I'll take terrible performances. I'll take crap 2-0 wins all the way to the end of the season, because, that's the wins you the title. It'll be miserable doing it. We'll have lots of fun podcasts doing it, but hey, we get shiny things at the end of it. So, I'm relaxed about that situation. But it's going to be tough if we do not demonstrate quickly that this is a project that's got a future to it. I want to touch on Russell Martin's press conference today because, he made a number of interesting points. He's a good talker. I'm never going to hold that against him. He spoke well there, but important bits of information. Confirmed Dessers is not going to make the weekend game. Tuesday looks more likely. Again, that's probably not going to be a start. That'll likely be a half hour off the bench. Pretty much confirmed that Ridvan's away. Was in the training ground today saying his goodbyes, and Cifuentes is away, and that Ben Davies is having his medical at Oxford, and we understand that's going to be a season-long loan, not a transfer out. But given that that's the end of his contract at the end of this year, he's going to be gone regardless. So we know that we've got a number of players going out. Stevie touched on it earlier. The $6.5 million for Yefti. What we understand is $2.5 million for Ridvan as well. That's a chunk of cash coming in, and that's potential to strengthen it. And one of the things that Russell Martin talked about was wanting to get experience in. Intimated that we've been looking for an experienced player earlier in the window who we didn't get. Pretty sure that's Connor Cody. Don't know for sure, but Calvin, I think it's clear that we do need to see some of that experience coming in because we've got, I'd say, a decent crop of talented young 23-year-olds. All of them are 23, every single one of them. But we've brought those in, but we don't have a lot of experienced old heads beyond Joe Rothwell so far. And so I think that's something we've been missing in recent weeks.
I think it's what we've been missing for a couple of seasons. Like, they've chased this type of player for God knows when. Like, there was John Jordan for Sevilla the last time. That's the one they put all their money and all their eggs in one basket to get him. That didn't happen. They've chucked everything at Connor Cody this time around. So who are they going for this time? Like, there's key positions. The biggest thing for me, spine of the team. Spine of the team hasn't been resolved. They put Rothwell in there. It doesn't look like it's exactly working at the 6. Has his pros and cons, but I'd like to see Raskin in there. I think that's where you get the best out of Raskin. His biggest positives are about finding danger, breaking it up, moving it on. Rothwell's biggest aspects is his passing range. Could they swap and stay there? Probably. But then you need to look at the centre backs. To me, the experienced. We need winners. Like, I think that's the big thing. Like, an experienced player can be somebody that's 24 or 30, but they need to be used to winning. There's not many people in that team that are used to winning week in, week out, getting trophies. That's what we're really missing. Just somebody that knows how to win. And you can be a winner from a young age and a winner from an older age. That's what we need. A spine of winners that can then drag the players through. When you're having your bad games, like, you don't need to be at your 100% best every single time to pick up 3 points. But you need to have the character to know, I'm just going to take control of the game, get the ball moving forward, take my chances when it comes. Let's look at that. Let's look at finding some winners. That's where we're going to need to spend our money on. Somebody that's going to guarantee you 3 points.
Yeah. Stevie, the comment you highlighted there from Stephen Renton, I think is a fair one. I think broadly where we're at, which is it's all good keeping the faith in theory, but in reality, we lose and draw against St Mirren and the other side of the old firm, then mood's going to get very ugly and fans will start staying away. But as far as you're concerned, I mean, Martin pointed about getting experience in. I think that is needed. Would you agree with that?
100%. On Stephen's point, I think that's kind of what we were saying. Like, that's what will happen, and it may force a reaction, but it depends on. It depends. They might keep going if the performances. It depends on how it goes, Andrew. Like, that's what I'm trying to spit out. But on experience, look, Calvin's 100% right, and I agree with him completely. I think it showed on Tuesday night. See when that goal goes in after 2 minutes, right? By the way, I don't know if anyone's watched it back, but Danilo has a shot that's blocked. It gets blocked. They kick it clear, and the boy runs in and scores because the 3 of them are in no man's land. And it's all 3 of them. There's no leadership there. That just takes a strong voice from John Suter on the other side. He's the main culprit here because he should be talking Giga through it and saying, man on, deal, clear it out, whatever. And it doesn't, listen, Jack Butland's a side show in all this because Giga's the one that should know he's there and Giga's the one that should deal with it. Even if Jack comes, you still want your centre-back to deal with it. See the guy on the other side, he should be telling him. And the biggest, and why I'm saying that is, at that point, you want an experienced leader in at the back so that he's shouting and telling and just marshalling. Now, see if that does happen, you still want him there after 2 minutes. Right, guys, we've conceded a terrible goal. We dig in, we play ourselves back. We do not let them get anything else, and we play ourselves back into the game. It's 1-0, we're 2 minutes in. Just everyone calm down and we'll go from there. We don't have that. And this goes back to what I said at the start of the show, Andrew. And Calvin, I agree with completely what you said. We've got no leaders in there at all. Now, this is a difficult thing to find, but sometimes you might have to go to a level you don't really want to go to get a player if you need to get a 33 or a 34-year-old in just to be able to bridge a gap to get the next one. That's something we might have to consider. But the key thing is, Andrew, we need a leader in there at the back. We need somebody else in midfield, and we probably need a 9. And that's not, by the way, probably need a right winger as well. Ant-Man's not going to play every game. So there's 3 or 4 positions there. But the key for me is the spine of the team. If you don't try and fix that in the next 10 days or so, then we're on a hiding to nothing because we're relying on the same guys that have continuously let us down. And there's been a lot, by the way, there's a lot said for Russell Martin in midweek, and I get it. And at the moment, it's pitchforks and fire and brimstone towards him. But see, the truth is, everybody misses the players on the pitch who continually let us down. The same ones over and over again. And the ones that have been here for a few years, we can expect more from, by the way. And I'm talking about John Souttar. I'm talking about Raskin Diamande, who's been an empty shirt since word go at the start of the season. Your Danilos, etc. I can tolerate Ant-Man not playing as well because he's literally just in the door. But when Meg Homa is making his debut, having been at the club for 20 minutes, and he's shouting and screaming at John Souttar and telling him to come and get the ball, telling him to shape up, telling him where he should be, that's not acceptable to me. I need more off of these guys. I need better stuff happening on a night like that. So that's where I am with it. And we've given Russell Martin it tight, and he's, to blame in everybody's eyes, but don't miss what's actually going on. We should expect football players to deal with situations like the other night, and they didn't. If we're set up to zonally mark, all it takes is somebody experienced to go, here, by the way, there's guys standing there, not passing on responsibility and just saying, no, I'm doing what I'm told, because they're not. People should be there picking up, and they're not. So these are things, Andrew, of why we need that experience in there. We need a leader. It's not easy to find, but my point earlier in the show, we've got money now. Money that they haven't counted on, that hopefully they can go and spend before the close of the window. And hopefully that will happen soon. It's very much needed.
Yeah. I mean, we knew that this is, almost like every season recently, this has been a big rebuild this summer window, but it was necessary. We needed a big clear out. We still have a number of players who need to go. King, Musiala, Matondo, possibly Cortez and Bayrami, given that they've been chopped out of the European squad as well. So we know that we have outgoings. I'm not sure how much cash we get in for them, but we've managed to get nearly 10 million quid for Yefti and Ridvan. So miracles are possible. You never know what might happen. But it's clear that we need to use that money and those outgoings to facilitate more in the way of incomings as well, because the squad as it is isn't going to cut it. I mean, our entire backline being made up of Loneys and John Souttar isn't particularly good either. So the situation's not looking great right now, but Martin made the point. He wants to be changing opinions. I know that this is starting to sound like another manager who said that we just had to wait till September and things would be fine. I don't want us to be in that position again. I have already said that this manager's been dealt a crap hand, and I said that about another manager in the past as well. But he has been backed. I mean, there's no question about that. It's 10 new players in, and we've spent money as well. Kusama looks like a real prospect for us. He's basically our front three at the moment by himself because he's contributing that much. But we know that we need more from these players, and we know that we need more from this squad of players as a whole as well. So, yeah, there's work to be done for sure. It's been a pleasure, folks. Like, honestly, we always struggle after these kind of pods because we don't want to just come on here and moan. I mean, I'm sure it'd get plenty of clicks from other people, but we don't want to come here and just be negative for the sake of being negative. I like to think we can try and be as constructive as possible, even when we don't exactly have a lot to be grasping for. You're going to see my cat, use the letterbox there. I mean, maybe that's a metaphor or something. Folks, we thank you for taking time out your Fridays to join us because, it's not exactly happy days right now in the Rangers fan base, but we appreciate you joining us nonetheless. And for the guys who have been so generous as well, Big Rod and everyone else who's contributed tonight, can't thank you guys enough. Before I go and before I turn over to the guys to say their goodbyes, I want to say that we kept doing work for the members of the YouTube channel as well. Folk will have seen that the Mark Haitley interview, Our Rangers Years, has gone live. Highly recommend checking that out. It's an excellent interview. Haitley speaks so well, and there's fascinating bits of that Stories you've not heard anywhere else that came out of that. That was behind the paywall for a month. Members had exclusive access to it. It's now live for everyone because I think we're always going to want to try and share our content with as many people as possible. Gordon Smith has an interview with us that's sitting behind that paywall. That'll go live out for everyone else in about a month's time. But if you can't wait, you want to check it out, please consider becoming a member. We really appreciate it. We're always trying to encourage folk to sign up. There are many reasons to sign up. We've got the exclusive interviews, we've got the occasional streams that we'll do for members only. And Stevie, you knew that I was going to do it. You knew that I was going to say that also folk can use the stickers as well. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. Yeah, who wouldn't want to be using that? Who wanted their own Calvin sticker right there? It's glorious.
See, my stickers, though, genuinely, they're 4 stone ago, so I'd like some updated, you know what I mean? I'd like some updated stickers, please. But apart from that, yeah, it's not my favourite, but if people want to join us as members, that would be wonderful. It's really appreciated, everyone's support, Andrew.
No, I agree. The stickers are only a small part of it. I just like plugging them because it's fun. So, yeah, thank you. Please consider becoming a member. If not, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff because it helps us enormously, helps us grow, helps us do things. We're currently working on a documentary about Jock Wallace, which has turned into a monster because Davey's pulling up bits of research and clips and pictures from all over the place. And it's been a joy so far to start editing that together, but it's going to be wonderful once it's done. So, yes, we encourage you to do that because it will help us do more things like that, more interviews, more documentaries, and makes us look better in the eyes of the club as well. Like we know what we're doing, even if sometimes we don't think that they do. Folks, thanks again. I want to thank my 2 lovely co-hosts. Calvin, first of all, appreciate you so much for coming on, racing a Mac update just so you could be here in time. So thank you so much, bud. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on, guys. And I'd just like to say good luck to anybody taking part in the Lanarkshire Half Marathon on Sunday. If any of the members are there, give us a wee wave. I'll be starting you off with some tunes on the starting line. So good luck to everybody taking part.
Nice one, man. And Stevie, appreciate you had to take a step back. It's a Russell Martin formation, except it's the exact opposite of that because we've got too many leaders on the park and they don't appear to have any. Nonetheless, it was a pleasure to have you on, mate. And taking a little turn in the contributors chair rather than the host chair for a change.
Yeah, we will be back on Sunday with a match day vlog from St Mirren. There'll be the way end, just myself. We don't get press access for St Mirren, but there will be a match day vlog. Scotty is covering the women's game at Ibrox as well. For Hearts, somebody just asked if there's a fan zone showing men's game and stuff beforehand. I really don't know the answer to that. Just need to wait and see what Rangers put out in the next couple of days. And then Monday we'll be back with Monday Night Live podcast as well. So myself, Kenny and Davey will be back for that one. So look, Andrew, it's not easy. The comments are all completely riddled with Martin out, get him sacked, etc. And that's fine. Look, people are entitled to their opinion and stuff like that, but it's difficult. I talked about it the other night when Kenny and I did the vlog from Ibrox, and you're 3-0 down after 20 minutes and you're literally shell-shocked trying to comment on what we're watching, and it's so difficult. So it's not easy at the moment. See if they could just start winning games and get their shit together. It would really quite be helpful for the rest of us. But do you know what? It's Friday night. There's over 2,000 people watching on all platforms. So I'm just really grateful for everyone that continues to support us and tune in. Chelsea versus West Ham at 8 o'clock. Andrew, should be a cracker. Raith Rovers and Dunfermline to keep an eye on in the First Division. Mason Munn starts and Robbie Fraser makes his debut for Dunfermline. So good luck to the lads there. And for everybody that's watched, especially our members and everyone that likes and subscribes, thank you, every single person, for that. Good luck to the team on Sunday. Let's please just go and get a win. It would just be nice. Just give me a win. Like, even if they make it semi-decent, I'm not asking for much. Just, you know what I mean? Give us a win. Fernandez should be playing it back. Just aim all your set pieces for his head. And surely that should be good. He is about 9 foot as well. And by the way, listen, it's Friday. Redvan, Cifuentes and Ben Davis have all left in one day. we should at least raise a smile to that, Andrew, because we've been trying to get rid of them all summer. Ridvan Yilmaz has been negotiating with Besiktas for about 2.5 years. So it's finally done. He's finally leaving. And hopefully that means in the next 10 days or so, Rangers will be able to get a couple of quality players in because we need it. So if anything, cheers to that on Friday night, everyone, and have a good weekend.
Yeah. 3 points, lads. I'd take Calvin's performance. 1-0 goal off someone's arse. That's fine. That'll do me nicely. A performance would be lovely, but I'm not holding people to that. I don't need it. So yeah. And as Scott B points out, we are, I think, less than 700 people away from 10,000 subscribers, which is a ridiculous position to be in, given that we started this less than 2 years ago. Can't thank you guys enough, honestly. I say it every time. I'll repeat myself a lot. I don't care because it's worth repeating. We appreciate you guys so much for all the support you show. So thank you guys. We will be back Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Stevie has us working all the time, but we will be back. We appreciate you joining us tonight. Go off and enjoy your Fridays, however you choose to spend it. Until then, until we talk to you again, folks, bye for now.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.